Jeff from Chillin N Grillin with Jeff here. One of the great things about going around and chilling and grilling with people all over London is I meet some fantastic folks and have some great food. Recently we filmed at Brandon Press House and we had some great food, met some great people. One of them was Gord. He was acting as Brandon's sous chef. I could tell he knew what he was doing. He said, Jeff, come on over to my place. I'm going to cook some great food for you. I said, absolutely. Let's go see what he's cooking. Gord, Candace, great to see you guys. Glad you invited me by. Can't wait to see things.
Thanks for coming.
Right away, I say, wow. You walk in the backyard and it has the wow factor for sure.
Thank you.
So the first thing we notice, pool. You got a couple of buildings back here. Lots going on. Did you was this here when you moved here, or is this all your design?
No,
We've all picked it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we had a lot of friends and their input, and pretty happy with the final product here.
You have kids, or is the basketball net for you,
Well,
or both?
A bit of both.
a bit of both. Sometimes I like to show off my skills.
We have a couple seating areas. We have the one back here. This one provides probably some shade. This time of the day we have a lot of sun. Do you pick and choose your spot where you're sitting depending on how much sunshine you want?
Depends on the day and
Or where the kids are.
where the
where
kids
the kids are.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
dictate our life.
The two buildings. What's in the two buildings?
So the one is pool storage with a shower in the back there for the kids when they're swimming late at night. Then
Yeah.
they're just able to go there and rinse off. And the other one is our gym.
I'm looking through here. Somebody's a gardener. I see some vegetables and stuff, but right away I can see back here you have a lot more space than you notice when you first come in the backyard.
Yeah, some of these lots here in Old North, they run pretty deep. You know, the kids get to play and have
Great-
the best of both
great place for
worlds
the
with,
kids back
the
here,
pool
yeah.
and some green grass.
Now with the vegetable gardener, who's the vegetable gardener?
Gord is.
I like to
Gorgeous,
pretend
eh?
I am.
Okay, well, looks like you're doing pretty good.
We got a lot of raccoons and squirrels, so I had to bring out my hunting turkey decoys here to
We
keep
got
them away.
these fellas here scaring
yeah,
away?
yeah, this is our gym, and it opens up, and
Perfect on a warm summer day. This is absolutely perfect.
we watch
right?
the kids from in here, and
Yeah, you got the TV, you got the whole works, and like you say, you can be working out, watching the kids, they're swimming, and when you're done, you can just hit the pool and do a few laps.
Yeah.
Well, all this talk about exercising and riding bikes and swimming, I'm getting hungry. You're probably getting hungry. Why don't we head over to the barbecues? So, lots of barbecues. You take your barbecuing seriously, I can imagine. Let's kind of walk along. Tell me what you got going on barbecue-wise. I'm fairly familiar with a few, but I've not seen this one in too many locations.
this is a Primo, very similar to the green eggs. We just really like the oval shape of it, and then we found it more convenient for.
Why is the oval shape better or different?
With our family, we need a lot of cooking space. So
grill
this,
space.
yes.
Yeah. And then, of course, we have the smoker.
Yep.
What gets the most use?
I would say the Traeger gets the most use for the convenience of just turning a dial.
And then we have the whole kitchen area. So now we have more barbecues and more cooking. So deep fryer,
Yep.
have to have it.
Yep.
Large, you talk about surface space for the family.
Yeah.
Right? You can get a few hot dogs on there, I would imagine. Yeah. And what do we have going on here?
We have a blaze flat top here, griddle. So in the mornings we can do bacon and eggs and pancakes. Don't have to heat up
The
the house.
backyard
and-
is really great. I love how you have it designed with a lot of thought in towards the family being together. So you're swimming, you've got the backyard for the kids, you've got the gym, you can keep an eye, you can cook all your meals out here, dine out here. Great family backyard for sure. And what do we have going on here? I see Traeger.
Yeah, another Traeger
Another-
just for if there's only a few small items that we want to cook on the side.
Is that the same with, now is this the Mini or the
This is the Mini Max.
Mini Max, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
is
So
this-
if it's only Candace and I having a couple steaks, we'll just throw it on that at night.
So what are we going to cook tonight? Tell me about the menu.
Candace and I are big outdoors people. We do like to hunt and fish a lot.
Both
but
hunt? You both fish?
Yep.
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 We both do that, but tonight we've gone with something really different, and we're gonna cook some bear,
Nice.
big black bear we got in northern Alberta, and we're gonna do some moose as well.
Wow, okay.
We're gonna do some pulled barbacoa
Tacos.
bear tacos from the
Some
from
bear
the shank.
tacos, all right.
Yep, and then we're gonna do some skewered moose meat, and followed up by braised bear.
Great, well, let's get started. I'm anxious to see how we barbecue bear and moose.
Okay.
Let's do this. So we barbecued a lot of different foods. I've been in a lot of different backyards around London. So this is the first time we're going to do a lot of wild game, specifically bear and moose. So there has to be a story behind how you ended up with a bear on this table.
And I had a good friend of mine, and we went and flew out to northern Alberta and did a spring bear hunt. And we were both fortunate enough to harvest an animal each.
Wow. Okay. Is that the first one you got?
This
bear?
is the first bear I've ever got. He was about 13 yards from me.
13 yards.
Yeah.
He was in pretty close there.
Yeah. We use compound bows for that, and it was.
How big would this bear have been?
This bear would have been about 450 pounds.
Okay.
The one, and this is its shoulder.
Okay, we're gonna eat this tonight. So,
So we're gonna do the shank and the shoulder. So what we have to do is separate the two. The shank's gonna go in barbacoa sauce for the tacos, and the shoulder will be braised on the primo.
Okay, and so that's because we're gonna. There's a lot of tendons and things, so we want to braise and we want to break this down low and slow.
Yeah, low and slow. It can be a very tough meat.
Yeah.
So the slower you cook it, the more it's going to render down.
Perfect for smoking and barbecuing. Then low and slow.
Yep. So what we have to do too is we are going to also clean the fat off.
Okay.
And the fat actually doesn't go to waste. What we do with that is we render that down and use it for cooking oil.
Oh, okay.
So it'll slowly melt down into a nice cooking oil, and you have it with your eggs.
Nice, adds a nice flavor, or something you're not getting all the time.
Yeah, eggs in the morning.
All right, well, don't let me get in your way. Let's see how we clean this up a little bit.
Okay. First, we're gonna start and look for the joint here. Once we have that, we'll get the saw out.
So you got all the meat separated from around the joint, and
there we go.
All right, so this is the shank, this is the shoulder, and you're gonna do two separate things with these.
Yep. Shoulder here. We're gonna trim off all this fat.
So we got shank and we got shoulder. I guess Candace is gonna do something with this in a bit.
Yep. Candace will take you through her recipe for making a pulled bear taco.
Okay. And what are you gonna do with the shoulder?
I'm gonna get ready right now and season it with some pepper, salt, garlic, and cumin.
You probably know in your mind, but there's no recipe. It's a barbecue recipe. You're just gonna dump the different seasonings and.
Yeah, we don't measure things out. We just one thing I will say with game meat, you want to make sure there's a lot of salt.
Okay.
The salt really helps get rid of that gamey flavor, people will say and talk about that they can taste. After it's seasoned, we will get out the cast iron, which is heating up over in the primo right now. And we'll throw some oil down in the on the cast iron.
Bear fat to sear it in?
Not bear fat on bear fat.
No.
For whatever
Too
reason,
much?
it's too much.
Is it?
Yeah.
Overkill?
Yeah, it is. It is overkill. We'll put it on there and do a heavy sear on all sides. And then from there, we'll add in a few other things, our liquids.
All right, a little bit of garlic on there. You can't go wrong with that.
Can't go wrong.
And cumin. Nice addition. You'll probably do less amount of that.
Yeah, I do. Just enough. Now it's ready to go on the cast iron.
Looks pretty hot to me.
All right, well, let's get the bear on.
We've got that all nice and seasoned up. We're gonna hear that crackle and sizzle. Need a bigger pan.
Wow. So we're gonna let this sear up here.
First thing will be the searing, and then we add the ingredients later.
Yeah, and then we'll add in some beef broth, bay leaves, peppercorns, some red wine, and a little bit more oil.
All right.
Probably about 6 hours
We're
or
just
so.
gonna kind of pull it apart and use the juice in there. Would be gravy at that point. And we're just gonna pour that over, and that's gonna be dinner.
Yep.
So Gord's gonna pass these duties over to you. He says do a better job with this. He did the butchering. You're gonna do the seasoning and the cooking.
My job.
So you don't even need his knife. I see you brought your own knife. So tell us what you're gonna do. This is the bear shank, right?
Yep. So I'm just going to put it in the pan, put a little bit of cumin, garlic, salt, and pepper. And then to the pan, I add beef broth, some clove, onions, garlic, bay leaves, and chipotle in adobo sauce.
Oh, okay. And then we're just going to tent that up in foil. We're going to throw it on the barbecue on the Traeger. Forget about it. And that's going to take, about 4 hours?
Yep.
The end result's going to be what?
Like a pulled bear for tacos.
For tacos? Yeah. Sounds amazing. Okay, so we got the shank in there.
Yep, so I'm going to add the beef broth around it.
So you're really going to season this up. Same type of stuff. The cumin.
Yeah, we put cumin in like everything we eat pretty much.
And the cloves. And do you salt this up quite a bit as well?
We do, yeah.
With the pepper, some bay leaves. So you got quite a bit of seasoning going on in there.
We do, and sometimes we put it just in the juicier and then put it on the top.
Mhm.
But this is a bigger piece, so we can put the chunks on the top.
Just some rough chopped garlic.
Yep.
A rough chopped onion. And this one, are you going to leave the skin on this one, or
No,
you're
no.
going to take it off?
Just because when we shred it gets,
Afterwards, you don't want. Yeah, you're going to shred it together.
everyone always comes to our house and wonders before they ask, they're like, "What is this exactly?" Not everyone believes that it's beef.
And again, a classic with this type of stuff, with the chipotles and the adobo.
Mm-hmm.
All the seeds. Lots of flavor going on there. Marinate it a little bit.
Yep.
Get some of the happy flavors on top, some of those chipotles. This is going to be fantastic when it's done. We'll temp it up, we'll put it on at 275. We'll forget about it for 4 hours plus.
Yep. Good.
All right, Candace, we prepped up all these veggies a little bit earlier, and remind me again, we have some tomatoes. And we put these in oil.
Yeah,
So
and then we're
use
just gonna try to char them a bit to
Okay.
make a salsa verde.
Okay, and over here we got some jalapeno peppers, some red onions.
Yep, and we're just gonna again char those to get a smoky flavor, and then we're gonna puree them into a salsa.
Great, let's get them on the grill. Make the smoked salsa myself all the time. I
Yeah.
love this. Is one of my favorite things.
Put that one on the Traeger actually to get the smoky.
So we're gonna put these on here. You want to get more smoky flavor? I'm gonna line that right there for you. And about how long will these take?
Usually I cook these by themselves a bit higher,
Yeah.
so we'll have to probably about 40 minutes.
Just judge them.
Yeah.
And then after we get them all smoky and charred, we're gonna chop them up together. And
Well, I usually just put them in the Vitamix to
Okay.
save time.
so what are we making now?
We are making chimichurri sauce.
Chimichurri.
Yeah.
Okay, great. And tell me what we got here. We got this looks
What?
like.
Parsley, cilantro, jalapeno, shallots, and garlic.
All right, show off your knife skills now.
Yeah.
That's it. You
No
still got
pressure,
you still got all your fingers.
Yeah.
I don't want to jinx anybody.
just a few
Yeah.
scars.
So the chimichurri sauce, you were at Brandon's when we were there, and he cheated and had a chef make it for
Yes,
us. So
yes.
yours is going to be better though.
Yes,
right?
ours
'Cause
is
it's-
authentic.
yours is authentic and
Homemade.
homemade.
Yes.
Big difference for that for sure. So you're just going to fine chop all this.
Yes.
Not going to worry about destemming it or anything too much.
No.
And a traditional chimichurri being just what you have here with some olive oil and salt and pepper. and
Yeah, a bit of red wine
A
vinegar.
little bit of red wine vinegar. Okay.
Yep.
And your jalapenos, are you one to leave the seeds in and get the spice?
We
are you guys
do.
heat lovers?
Yes, we are, but because we have company, I might take some out.
So you're doing it, chopping up all the garlic. And what do you get? It looks like about 4 or 5 cloves. You're going to put it all in there? Garlic heavy?
Yeah,
Go
we
for
like
it.
garlic.
Sure, throw the garlic in.
It's good for you.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much for ingredients as far as the chopped ones.
So we got some dried oregano.
Yep.
Salt and pepper. Barbecue measurements, right? Just.
Yeah.
Yep.
We
Dump
don't
it in.
measure much of this.
And will you make this ahead of time when you're having people over? It should sit and get happy for a while.
Yes, because then it kind of softens up.
Right. All the flavors meld
Yes.
together, and we mix those up, cover it up, and then refrigerate it, and that's going to taste great. Can't go wrong with all that garlic and all that jalapeno pepper in there.
No.
So now we're going to make up some roasted vegetables, and
Yep.
we're going to add this. Are we going to just eat these whole as part of the meal, or are you going to do something specific with them?
No, we're just going to roast them with a bit of rosemary and olive oil, salt, and pepper.
Okay, great. So
Yeah.
more chopping skills.
Well, these ones we usually leave fairly large,
hmm
and then just kind of do them this way, because no one in our house likes really cooked vegetables. They like them minimal cooked.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So parsnips, carrots, some beets.
Yep.
Did you blanch these ahead of time?
I didn't, so I'm cutting them up a bit smaller. I have a feeling with all the other food, the veggies aren't going to be a hit anyways.
When you've got bear tacos and moose on skewers, I'm pretty sure the vegetables are
Yeah.
the last thing anybody's reaching for. A little bit of olive oil, salt and pepper.
Yep.
And then we're going to throw that on the grill and
Yep.
just let it
Just let it do its
get
thing.
happy.
Yep.
All right, it's tabbouleh time. So this looks like garlic, and I was kind of hoping you were going to tell me you had about 4,000 cloves of garlic in here, but you don't. This is cauliflower.
Yes.
Okay, great. And then a bunch of parsley,
Yep.
some tomatoes, some onion,
Yep.
and then what else goes in there?
Just lemon, olive oil, salt, and pepper.
And then you just blend it all together?
Yeah, and we use the cauliflower instead of like the wheat.
Oh, okay.
So it's just extra vegetables.
Perfect. All
Yeah.
right, let's chop.
So now I'm just going to cut up an onion really small.
All right, so we've got everything chopped up. We're going to throw the cauliflower in there, and then you're going to chop up a few more things.
Yep.
We took our tomatoes that we charred off the grill. You're letting them cool off, and we're going to make a salsa with that.
Yes, correct.
Okay, okay. So you're going to grab all this. I'll help you carry it in. We'll head inside where there's some air conditioning. We'll finish it all up.
Perfect.
All right, let's do it. So we threw this on. This is the shank. We threw this on about 4 hours. It's been sitting at what temperature?
Well, 275.
275 for about 3 or 4
4
hours.
4
now?
hours.
All right, yeah,
now.
let's check it
So
out and see what it looks
look
like.
here.
Ooh, look at that. It smells amazing. All our seasonings sitting and
Yeah.
floating around in there. And
Yeah.
so what do you think? Needs a little more time
A
or
little
ready to
bit
go?
more time.
A little longer? How do you know?
I'll use a fork and see how well it pulls off the bone. So not that much longer, actually.
Yeah.
It's almost falling off the bone. So what we like to do is when it's about time to come off, we let it then sit in the marinade before we serve.
Okay, perfect. Well, let's close it up and let's check the shoulder and see how we're doing over there. Now this one we threw on, how long has it been sitting here now?
This one's been on for almost 6 hours.
About 6 hours, and it's just under 3, about 275. same
Yep.
thing. Yep. Oh man, that looks amazing. It smells fantastic
It
as well.
does.
Yeah. So what do? We close
So
that
we're
up?
gonna close that up here and let it sit for a little bit longer.
All right, so this was on for just over 4 hours. It looks great, falling apart, pulling right off the bone, and you're gonna shred it up, and you got some fancy bear claws for shredding up the bear. And this again is gonna be used for the bear tacos.
Correct, yeah.
And you want it to sit in the juice. You're just gonna shred it and let it sit in the marinade in the juice, and
Yep.
we'll cover that up. And
And then we sit it back on the trigger so it absorbs
just
more.
stays nice and warm and
Yep.
absorbs. Yep. Perfect. So we're making some moose skewers.
Yep.
And you harvested the moose yourself?
I harvested the moose myself in Newfoundland.
Okay, and so you prepped this up ahead of time because it had to sit and get happy. So tell me a little bit about the process that got us to this point.
So it's more like a spicy miso. So there's some ginger in there, some soy sauce, a little bit of Worcester, some brown sugar, and a couple other things. Can't give all the secrets.
Yeah, if
so
you
we're
want more,
gonna
why not?
start
So-
skewering these up, and then we'll
Show
get
us
them
how we're
on
gonna do
on
this.
the
You
grill.
do the
So
first one and show us what we're
yeah,
gonna
we're
do.
just gonna slide it through. It's already been sliced nice and thin. So and then we'll just grab another piece and
Easy
right
enough. So this is
through.
gonna cook up pretty fast too.
this will, yeah.
Yeah.
So it will
And
be a good complement with
the
the
bear we
bear
went-
tacos.
Is there such
here.
a thing as cooking it mid-rare or rare with moose and game in general? Or?
Moose you can cook. You can cook medium rare is what we like it for. Obviously for skewers, it's going to be pretty well done. Bear meat you can't cook medium rare because you could get trichinosis.
So you have to cook it right through.
You have to cook it right through.
Okay, great. Well, let's skewer these up. We've got lots going on right now. Let's kind of figure out where we're at. This is the moose. This was the shank.
The bear.
Or sorry, the bear shank, right?
Yep.
And we shredded it up, and it's been marinating and getting nice and tender. This is all this. This was our roasted vegetables that we had,
Yes.
right? And we
Yep.
made a nice salsa with them. And what do we have here?
Tzatziki.
The tzatziki, and this was also some of the
That's the salsa verde, and then this is the
chimichurri.
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 Yeah.
Okay, and the chimichurri is going to be for the moose
Either one.
skewers or
Yep.
whatever somebody wants to
Yep.
do. Okay, I'm going to let you guys. You've done this before, so just kind of go with it, and I'm going to grill you as we're going along. We got to warm up the tortilla
Yep. So we're gonna
shells
warm
and-
up the tortilla shells, and then we're gonna get the moose skewers on as well.
Okay. And we just want a nice hot grill for those, and
Yep.
we're not going to worry too much about temperature. We just want them to be hot.
Yeah.
And the tortilla shells, we're just kind of warming up. All right, so the trick to holding these together, we got a lot of the marinade with the bear going on here. So I notice we're putting the tzatziki first, the bear on top, and that's the trick.
So we'll just put some meat on each one. Put the salsa verde.
All right. Taco assembly line going on. All right, we got a bunch of tacos here, some hungry people. What do you say, Gordon? Let's get them
I
over
think
there
we
and feed
bring
them.
them over and feed them.
All right, guys, everybody hungry? Yeah. Candace, tell everybody what we're enjoying today. I'm going to put this right here.
So we have bear shank tacos with chimichurri, salsa verde, tzatziki, and smoked salsa.
All right, we've been like six hours plus.
Just over 6 hours
6
on
hours,
this.
yeah. Okay,
So-
yeah, 275. So let's take a look and see what it looks like.
Great.
Oh yeah, bubbling
Looks
away.
good.
Looks great. It's already starting to fall off the bone.
It is.
All right, you grab that. I'll get this closed up
Okay.
behind you.
Thank you.
And so now this was that bear shoulder that we worked on earlier.
It
We
was.
separated it from the shank, cleaned it all up, seasoned it, threw it in the cast iron. What are we
And
gonna do now?
here's the tricky part now. I don't know how this is gonna work
You got,
when this just comes right off like this.
this is our gravy. Are we gonna add
This is our
anything to this,
gravy.
or
We're
this
gonna
is
add
all
a little
good?
bit more water here.
Okay. And then what are we gonna do? We're gonna use the
We're
bear
gonna-
claws again and pull this apart.
Pull it apart and then drizzle some of the sauce on it.
And then this we're just gonna pull and leave right
And
on
this
the platter.
we're gonna pull right apart here.
Want me to get this bone off of here? Oh, look at that. That falls apart pretty easy.
It does.
So now this one's seasoned up a little bit different than the shank.
Yep, this one was just salt, pepper, cumin,
Garlic powder.
garlic powder,
Yep.
and that's it.
And that was it. A fair amount of salt.
Yep,
Part
that's
just
about
like that.
all, and we'll drizzle on the gravy on top,
Okay.
and then we'll serve it up.
Perfect. All right, so I'm going to, if you don't mind, I'm going to dig in here a little bit of Chef's Treat.
Yep,
And
maybe dip it in the
try a
gravy.
little bit of that gravy. Oh, that looks good, and it's nice and warm. Wow. I thought it was going to be saltier than this because you put a fair amount of salt,
did.
but it's not. That pulled all the gaminess right out of it. Wow, that is just super. I can't believe how tender it is. Candace, Gord, thanks for a great day. It was a long day. We cooked the bear for 4 to 6 hours, depending on what cut. The tacos, the appetizers were great. I don't think anybody's hungry, but we still got lots of great food. Yep. Your backyard is beautiful. You made fantastic hosts. We really appreciated being here. Looking forward to the roasted vegetables that we did up earlier. We got the tabbouleh, and this is going to be great, nice and fresh. It looks so fresh. I can't wait to dig into that. And of course, this bear shoulder, and it just broke apart.
It tasted good.
Yeah, we did have a little bit of tasting ahead of time. So you're going to pour some gravy on
Yeah,
here.
we'll throw some gravy down on it.
So once again, thanks for having us. We appreciate it. And I look forward to coming back anytime you want to cook up some more food. We look forward to being here.
Have you
Anytime.
again.
Yeah, hopefully it'll be a little bit cooler, but
Yeah.
you know, that's what we get for filming
Hottest day in the summer.
in the hottest day of the summer, right? But listen, we got a crowd forming at the table. Let's bring this over
let's
there
bring it over
and let's sit down and eat. Jeff here again from Chillin N Grillin with Jeff, and we're bringing you this week's barbecue tip. And once again, we've brought Jill from Jill's Table, who's going to talk about knives. We're going to talk about using them to cut a beautiful steak. So a little bit earlier, Jill, I prepared a flank steak.
Okay. Well, this is one of my favorite cuts too, and the reason I like it is that you can cut it nice and thin. It's for that perfect time when you don't necessarily want everyone to have a big steak on their plate. They want maybe just a few slices. Cutting it is tricky because if you go with the grain, and it has a very definite striation, and if you go with the grain, you're going to have those chewy bits and they'll get stuck in your teeth, whereas if you go against the grain, you're going to cut across, and then it's going to be much more tender and easy to do. So the very easy way to do that by you first take the first slice, and you'll know immediately whether you're with the grain or against the grain. And if you're with it, then you simply flip it over, then you're going against. And like we talked before, first thing you do, I'm going to do this with my carving knife. I'm going to get my steel and I'm going to hone my knife first, and again, 14-degree angle. I'm just going to realign those teeth. Okay, so let's get carving. So let's have a look. So it looks really good. We're going to just tuck in there and see which way we're going. And I've got against the grain. Yeah. So perfectly cooked, and I really like the fact you mentioned you let this rest. And that is another thing, Jeff, that people don't do. They don't let their meat rest. I always take it off the grill, put it on a rack. All the juices redistribute within it. If you don't do that, you know what happens.
Exactly.
Everything runs out on your board.
All the time. So important, so important.
Yeah, so I just stopped into my garden. Depending on what, I sometimes like rosemary with beef as well, so you can garnish your platter with some fresh herbs and just put that on there. And the other thing I often like to do is just a little finish of mulled and salt, which is a really good sea salt, and just crush it between my fingers over the top, and sometimes a little drizzle of olive oil. You mentioned you like olive oil. Yeah. And then you are all set. And leftovers, oh my gosh, next day.
Well, let's finish slicing this up.
Alrighty.
And once again, thanks very much for coming by and sharing some more knife tips with us.
You are most
demonstrating
welcome.
how to cut up and talk about this flank.